Coming up next, Scott Wolf, Executive Director of Grow Smart Rhode Island. The following is a production of ReNewableNow.biz and Grow Smart Rhode Island, and is made possible by Bank of America, GZA, Geoenvironmental Incorporated, National Grid, and the Arpin Group.
Great to see you all. My name is Scott Wolf. I'm Executive Director of Grow Smart Rhode Island, and I'm very pleased to welcome you here today on behalf of the whole dynamic Grow Smart team, especially our outstanding board chair, Howard Kilgus, who's going to be speaking with you a little bit later today at lunch. This is our fifth Power Play Summit, and we hope and expect it will be the best in our continuous improvement regime. There's a lot of power, by the way, in case you didn't already notice, in this room. Intellectual power, political power, financial power, planning power, development power, and organizing power. I hope and believe that collectively we represent the power and the positive energy that can overcome some of the knee-jerk negativity that's been dominating too much of the conventional wisdom in Rhode Island recently. Now, this culture of knee-jerk negativity has become so embedded that almost anything negative that's asserted about our state is likely to be believed by the vast majority of our citizenry, even if the assertion can't stand up to scrutiny. For instance, there's a notion out there that we have a very burdensome sales tax. And the newsflash is that we don't. But that is one of the many urban legends that take hold and divert us from addressing thoroughly more serious problems, such as our need to boost municipal property tax bases and stabilize property tax rates so that we can become more economically competitive. That's where we're uncompetitive, is in our property tax rates, not our sales tax. The full theme of this year's summit is the power of place, positioning Rhode Island for an economic renaissance. Now, in today's climate of low expectations and high cynicism, this may sound like a delusional proposition. But at Grow Smart Rhode Island, we continue to believe that our state has tremendous underappreciated and underutilized assets that, if better nurtured, could advance our economy dramatically. And I'll have more to say about this in a few minutes. But now let's talk a little bit about all of you. One of the reasons we're excited about today's summit is the geographic and occupational diversity that you represent. There are people here from 32 of Rhode Island's 39 cities and towns. Beyond that, you come from DC, almost all the New England states, New York, Pennsylvania, and California. Didn't know we had that kind of drawing power, but that's what the registration shows. Your business and civic leaders, federal, state, and local officials, planners, architects, engineers, farmers, accountants, artists, environmentalists, historic preservationists, nonprofit leaders, builders, professors, students, and a lot of other things. But I suspect, and I hope, that we all share several things in common. That we're here because we don't want Rhode Island to continue to be a major underachiever, and because we believe that we can and must live up to our vast untapped potential instead of down to some people's unrealistically low expectations. Now, at Grow Smart, with the help of talented Jeff Nickerson, we've invested in social media to expand and accelerate this movement. And all of you in this room can help. First, you can start by liking our Facebook page to keep on top of the latest smart growth developments. And there'll be an invitation for you to do so in your email inbox when you check it later today, much later today. Give us a little time. And you can also stop by the Grow Smart booth in the exhibit area to have your picture taken for our social media campaign. Excuse me just a sec. I want to exhibit our campaign. I like Grow Smart RI. Yeah, you can clap, that's fine. we're anxious to see this go more and more viral, so have your picture taken holding this sign if you are so inclined. Now, second, if you have an iPhone, and I'm sure most of you do, even I have an iPhone now. If you have an iPhone, you can take photos of the summit throughout the day and then post them to Facebook or share them on Twitter using hashtag PowerPlace2014 to keep the conversation going. Now, while I'm focusing on logistics, I have some other basic housekeeping items that we want to make sure you're aware of. It's kind of a long laundry list, bear with me, but hopefully it'll make your day smoother and more enjoyable. First of all, exits. Exits are clearly marked throughout the convention center, and we know we have to be conscious about that in our state. Bathrooms are located just outside this ballroom on either side of the ballroom. Our morning keynote plenary session is going to be right here, and our 3 sets of workshops will be in various rooms on this floor. All locations are noted in your summit program. We are offering continuing education credits today for attendees from several organizations. If you're a planning professional or an architect, all of today's sessions, I'm told, will qualify for continuing education credits. For planners, there'll be a sign-up form in each meeting room. For architects, there's a master sign-up form available at our registration desk outside, and we'll submit this to AIA on your behalf to make sure you're covered. But whether you're an architect, a planner, or a beekeeper, for that matter, you're free to attend whichever sessions you choose, regardless of those you originally signed up for. We wanted to get some sense of who was going where, but we're quite flexible about that. I also encourage you to visit our numerous exhibitors during the networking time. You'll find them in the lobby. I'm sure you've already noticed a number of them. The lobby is where all of our breaks will be, along with the cash bar reception at the end of the day. Now, we do have a new summit feature, actually several, but one I want to talk about now is a Smart Growth book raffle organized by our esteemed board member, Will Gates. Will, are you here? And maybe not yet, any event. Will will be here. And his longtime business partner, Don Layton, are co-sponsoring this. Please buy, we have tickets for this, so please buy tickets for the raffle at the Grow Smart booth and assign them to the book or books of your choice. Winners will be drawn and announced at our end-of-day reception, and all raffle proceeds, I'm pleased to say, will benefit Grow Smart Rhode Island. Among the books that are available on the raffle are several copies of the book by our distinguished keynoter, Benjamin Barber, whom you'll be hearing about and from in a few minutes. Now, if you want to build off what's discussed today, I encourage you to attend the Summit Debrief and Social that's going to be co-hosted by us, by the Rhode Island chapter of the American Planning Association, and Roadmap RI. That's going to be held on Monday, June 2nd from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Ocean State Theater on Jefferson Boulevard in Warwick. And we are very interested in getting your take on today's activities, what we did well, what we could do better, what was missing. So we're going to send you an evaluation form electronically early next week, and we encourage as many of you as possible to fill that out and get it back to us. Now, if you have any questions throughout the day, we've got some very inconspicuous people in inconspicuous orange shirts that you can ask any question that you may have. That's our team today, and they're not going to be lost in this crowd. Also, I encourage you to seek out our board members who are identified, I believe, by a ribbon. Many of them are here today. Now, it's a perfect segue for me to recognize and thank our terrific staff, most of whom got very little sleep last night. As well organized as we think we are, there's always those last-minute glitches to attend to. I want to start by recognizing John Flaherty, our Director of Research and Communication, who's done his usual superb job as the impresario of this whole summit. John, come on. He's in back there. And next, and I don't know if she's in the room, our outstanding Director of Programs and one of the founders of Grow Smart Rhode Island, Sheila Brush. And also want to recognize our whole team, our ACE Finance and Fundraising Executive Assistant, Leslie Denomi, our talented training coordinator, Jody Costello, and our dynamic office assistant, Dorothy DeRay. They're all great folks. And I also want to acknowledge and thank a number of elected officials who are attending today's summit. Some are here right now, some are going to be with us later. First, Governor Chafee, whom we'll be hearing from in just a half hour or so. Attorney General Kilmartin, Secretary of State Mollis, Congressman David Cicilline, who is right here. Congressman, great to see you. Mayors Avedisian of Warwick, Diosa of Central Falls, Fung of Cranston, and Tavares of Providence. And then we have a number of state legislators that we're expecting today. State Senators William Conley of East Providence and State Senator Gail Golden of Providence. On the House side, we have State Representative Jay Edwards of Tiverton, Frank Ferry of Warwick, Linda Finn of Newport, Arthur Handy of Cranston, Jay O'Grady of Pawtucket and Lincoln, and Deborah Giro of Jamestown. I'm also pleased to, yes, we can have a hand for all those folks. And I believe, I don't know if former Mayor Paolino's in the audience now, but I think he is expected to be here, so I want to welcome him as well. And then we have a number of city and town councilors from throughout the state. So we appreciate their engagement, their involvement, and their leadership on our behalf. Now, and I may have missed somebody, so please let me know that between now and lunch, and we will acknowledge your presence at lunch. It's also important to note that we have dozens of appointed federal, state, and local officials, a lot of planners, a lot of regional agency people from the federal government. We salute them for all their public service and commitment to the smart growth movement. And last, but definitely not least, the folks who really are making this possible, I want to acknowledge and thank our conference sponsors. I'm pleased to announce that we're continuing to get an uptick in the number of sponsors every summit. And this year, we do have a record number of sponsors, 61 in all. That's 19 more than signed up for our last summit. So I think that's a sign of the movement's health. Thank you. And I want to single out some of our major sponsors. We have 3 people in the category of major sponsor: GZA Environmental, Bank of America, and National Grid. We also have 22 program sponsors. They are Bank RI, Capital Properties, Commerce RI, Zapret Engineering, Edwards Wildman, FH French, The Foundry, Fuss & O'Neill, Holland & Knight, the International Council of Shopping Centers, Lifespan, Moran Shipping, Northeast Collaborative Architects, the City of Providence, the Providence Journal Charitable Foundation, ReNewable Now, the Rhode Island Association of Realtors, RIPTA, Rhode Island Statewide Planning, Roger Williams University, Vanasse, Hang and Bruslin, and Webster Bank. How about a big hand for all of our sponsors? And there are 36 other Friend of Smart Growth sponsors, all of whom are listed in your program, and let's have a hand for them as well. Okay. I can't have an opportunity to talk to this many people and not pontificate a little bit more. So before the introduction of our visionary keynoter, Dr. Barber, I want to offer a few more observations about the state of our state and Grow Smart's vision for a more prosperous and more vibrant Rhode Island. Now, if you believe some key pundits and bloggers, Rhode Island is a hopeless economic and political basket case that can't get out of its own way, that can't seem to do anything right. And at Grow Smart Rhode Island, we think that conclusion is way off base. And we think it's as off base and as dangerous as the notion that Rhode Island is performing up to its potential and that no major policy changes or new investments are needed to improve our economic performance. Now, total economic and political basket cases don't do a lot of things. And let me articulate some of the things they don't do. They don't attract the world's largest distributor of organic foods, United Natural Foods, Inc. They don't recruit world-class brain researchers. They don't gain a national reputation for facilitating business startups. Nor do such laggards attract national acclaim for coastal resiliency planning, for having the best food scene in America, and for moving rivers, railroad tracks, and highways to revitalize and visually enhance our major city, earning it the recent distinction of being America's best mid-sized city and America's best small city. I guess we're so good we can be both simultaneously. But despite these and other signs of progress and achievement, we have to acknowledge that Rhode Island today, with our relatively high unemployment and underemployment, is a significant economic underachiever with tremendous unrealized potential. And among the assets that we think need to be capitalized on much more systematically and aggressively are our outstanding collection of historic buildings and neighborhoods, our well-positioned deep-water ports and harbors, and our overall marine expertise, which I'm told by Jason Kelly of our board is second to none in the country, our good fortune to have more college students per capita than almost any other state in the country, with highly ranked design, research, culinary, oceanography, and business schools as part of our vibrant local mix. Another asset is our compact size and our compact development patterns, as is our easy access, incredibly easy access to diverse natural resources and beauty. Then there's our strategic geographic location within a day's drive of more than 40 million people, and our distinctive, highly distinctive urban-rural balance. We're the second most urbanized state in America, but we're the 16th most forested on a percentage basis. That creates a quality of place, a quality of life that is really a competitive advantage for Rhode Island. So in convening this summit, we're hoping that we can all learn from one another how to play more effectively to these and to other strengths, how to go beyond the negative headlines and the superficial whining that dominate too much of Rhode Island life today. So over the next hours, we will be exploring policies, partnerships, and projects that are already working to improve Rhode Island and to move Rhode Island forward, as well as those that we think have the potential to do the same. And I hope and believe that we will be sending a very clear message that a sense of urgency about our economic problems is warranted and is a critical ingredient for solving these problems. But a sense of hopelessness or of desperation is both totally unwarranted and totally counterproductive. In fact, we believe strongly at GrowSmart that the dialogue about Rhode Island's future needs more fundamental balance. It needs more connection to reality versus knee-jerk negativity. We intend to push the dialogue hard in this direction, even if it requires confusing some people with the facts. And we have an ambitious policy and legislative agenda as part of our push, one that includes extending the state historic tax credit, providing more adequate and stable funding for our public transit and other transportation needs, and ensuring that the governor's proposal for 2 new transit hubs in our capital city gets on the November ballot and passes. There's much more that we're trying to accomplish as well this year, including initiatives to enhance our farm and food systems. You can review all of our priorities in your packet. There's a 2014 policy and legislative agenda piece for you to peruse. In closing my remarks today, at least this section of them, I want to leave you with a simple message. Let's move beyond stewing to doing, and let's build on the assets we already have, rather than looking for an economic thunderclap from on high or a knight in shining armor from afar to rescue us. So let's go forward. Thank you very much.
This has been a RenewableNow.biz and GrowSmart Rhode Island production.